Alright guys, I'm here with a bit of information for Dragon Ball Legends. So the 18th Dragon Ball Legends video and stuff has just ended. And with it, we did actually get a lot of information for the game. A majority of it are quality of life changes, which are completely fine, but of course we did get updates on new characters and all that stuff. So I'm just gonna break down what they were talking about. It's a short list, but a lot of them actually hold a bit of weight. So the very first thing is that the Legends Weekend banner is gonna be getting updated. And this is something that should have been happening a long while ago, right? Because even though I still think the Legends Weekend banner is good for newer players, because obviously newer players are gonna want to be able to get, you know, any type of sparking unit to just be able to play PvP in general, or maybe to do specific events or whatnot. A lot of those units are heavily outdated. Like, a lot of you guys always ask me in my videos, whenever you see my presents box, Ndukauba, why don't you accept your presents? It's because my presents box is filled with those tickets, because I don't need to summon on that banner anymore, right? Like, if it had units on there that maybe I need to pull a few more times to be able to boost to a certain point, or whatever the case may be, then I would summon on there. But I have all of the units in the game, every single one. And a majority of them are heavily leveled up, right? Some of them are like 7 stars, 9 stars, 12, or even just completely maxed out. So the Legends Weekend banner doesn't really benefit me in any way, shape, or form. But if they add newer units on there, that changes things, right? And then, of course, it depends on which units get added into the banner. But just getting that slight update is definitely a good thing, and honestly is even better for newer players, because now they have newer options to be able to aim for as well. So that is definitely a good thing. Next up, Ultra Goku and Vegeta are going to be easier to buff and level up. Thank the Lord. Now, the issue with Ultra Goku and Ultra Vegeta is, and especially with what they did with Ultra Goku, is that you needed your rare medals to be able to get the necessary things such as souls and whatnot to buff the character. And that made leveling them very tedious. And that's putting it very lightly, right? Because with the implementation of the Tournament of Power, it made things slightly easier, but that took long by itself. So if you weren't doing, like, you know, PvP or you know, doing things from various events and whatnot, you weren't really getting those medals. And of course, without those medals, you were not going to be able to boost those units. So now, with them being easier to level up, it makes things significantly easier. So apparently you're going to be able to get their souls, such as Rising Souls, Super Souls, and whatnot, in an event, which is going to be nice, because again, I would much rather deal with it in an event than having to worry about getting rare medals to be able to get the necessary you know, things necessary to buff the units. It's just tedious that way. So this is definitely welcome. Moving on, the Ultra bonus battles, which is like, you know, getting your souls and whatnot, are going to be adjusted. Now, it's not like all of them are going to be adjusted, but from what they said, it's primarily just going to be the first battle, right? So to give you guys context, if you go into those battles, let's say it's like blue, or like the second stage for, like, you know, the blue souls, right? Obviously you will primarily get like Rising Soul 2s, but you'll also get Rising Soul 1s, right? But if you go down and do the first stage, you'll only get Rising Soul 1s, and that's really it. And there's no boost in like the amount that you really get, or I guess an incentive to do so, because again, if you go to the 2-star one, you get both the 2-star and the 1-star. So because of that, for the 1-star events, they're going to cut the amount of energy in half. That way, it's more of an incentive to do so, since you're not necessarily getting a multitude of resources, which in truth makes complete sense, because it made no sense that I was spending the same amount of energy for the 1-star Rising Souls and even Super Souls, and then for the 2-star ones, I'm spending that same amount of energy, but also getting the 1-star like souls with it. So them cutting that in half to try to accommodate that is fine. They could have also have just increased the amount that you earn, but this is fine as well. I mean, whatever helps me save energy at the end of the day is what I'm gonna rock with, because energy can go a very long way, especially for Zenkai Awakening units. But moving on, the Z Metal, Guild Coin, Recycle Center, and Equipment Metal Exchange shops will be adjusted. They gave us no details on that, but they did say that they'll tell us updates on that later. But just know that those respective shops will be getting updated in the future. Also, this is a welcome change, but equipment slots are increasing by 30, which is good. Now, they do still have like that one pass or ticket thing or whatever that's gonna be coming soon that'll expand it by like hundreds or whatever. But before that, we're getting an update and it's adjusting by 30. I'm not complaining at all because I have a lot of equipment. Like, I'm to the point where being able to expand it even further is not really possible anymore. So an extra free 30 helps out significantly for me. So I'm completely with that. Now, this is, I would say a big one, but you guys can take this as you will. The Tournament of Power TP, it's getting increased from 5 to 25, which is massive. And the reason why I say this is so important, and one issue I had with this since like the beginning, is when it was set to 5, people have daily lives, right? People have things to do, and because of that, they're not always able to play the Tournament of Power, right? It's not always possible. So to try to limit it to only 5, and then you have to wait days to be able to get that gauge to refill to 5 again is extremely counterintuitive. So with them increasing it to 25, you get to play a huge chunk of the Tournament Power. Actually, I think, I don't remember if that's actually all of the battles or not, but it's a really, really big amount. And because of that, you can, for example, if you're really busy and you're not able to get into doing the Tournament Power, maybe like there's a few days left in the Tournament Power, you can just go through the event and then be done. That is a good change. And of course, there are still benefits to doing the Tournament of Power, like getting rare medals, but still, that is a good change, actually a completely welcome change in my opinion. Now, whether or not you guys still play that game mode is completely up to y'all, but just know that that makes the Tournament Power at the very least a bit less tedious, and I'm completely down for that. Now, this is something that should have happened a long while ago too. The Vegeta family tag is being changed to Vegeta Clan. And the reason being is because there are units in the game, like, you know, Scouter Vegetas and whatnot, or Vegetas from, like, you know, the Frieza Saga, and you would think that they would be on Vegeta family, but in truth, they are not a part of Vegeta family. And the reason being is because Vegeta didn't start his family until after the Frieza Saga. So all of those units before then don't fall under that tag, and to a degree, it can hurt that tag. So because of that, they changed it to Vegeta Clan, so that way all units concerning Vegeta are able to run, well, Vegeta's family in particular, but still are able to run on that tag. So that is good. That is gonna be a solid buff to Vegeta Clan now. I gotta get used to saying that, but yeah, I wonder if that also includes iterations of Bulma as well, right? Because obviously, you know, Bulma married Vegeta, but like there are units of Bulma in the game that are not a part of Vegeta family, right? So with this update, will she fall into Vegeta Clan? Who knows? We'll see. And this is easily the biggest thing that we got throughout this entire event. Zenkai Awakening is now 100% free. Thank goodness. A lot of people were getting bothered by Zenkai units for a multitude of reasons, completely understandable, but now they are free. That is amazing. Now, whether or not they'll be viable because of the fact that they're free is to be determined, but at the very least, now everyone has a fair chance of getting their units Zenkai Awakening, or Zenkai Awakened, I should say, granted, if those units are at least at 7 stars, of course, but it is now free. The free method to Zenkai Awaken units now is to do the Battle Gauntlet. And not only that, you don't lose any rewards whatsoever from doing the gauntlet, which means that when you complete the gauntlet, you still get chrono crystals. This is a phenomenal change in my personal opinion. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that the battle gauntlet is the easiest thing in the world. For some players, I'm not going to sit here and say that the battle gauntlet is the hardest thing in the world for some players. But the fact of the matter is, if you do the battle gauntlet, not only do you get to Zenkai awaken units for free, but you also still get your crystals. And this is happening from the next Zenkai unit onward. So, well, actually, to be fair, because they did just announce Zenkai Janemba, right? So I don't know if it's going to happen immediately, because from how they usually do all that stuff, Janemba would probably be dropping tonight. So I don't know if this is happening immediately, but if not immediately, then definitely the next Zenkai. So we'll definitely see though, because Janemba should be dropping tonight, and I think the battle gauntlet, or the current one, ends tonight. So we'll see if it happens now or for the next Zenkai, but just know Zenkai Awakening units is free, and if it is free, I am running through that gauntlet so I can get Janemba awakened as soon as possible. Now, moving on from there, we finally got the announcement of our third Ultra unit, and that unit is none other, and I was really surprised with this, than Omega Shenron. Omega Shenron is indeed the third Ultra unit, and I'm actually very surprised with his typing, if you will. So Omega Shenron is a defense type, and not only that, he has abilities that greatly decrease damage received and buff him whenever he's attacked. So pretty much, you're gonna want this Omega Shenron to take damage, right? And he's a defense type, so that's also a good thing, because the last thing you want is for him to take damage and then end up dying early in the process. So if they're gonna try to promote this as an ability, he has to be very tanky, right? But again, only time will tell. Not only that, if his health falls below a certain point after receiving an attack, he can buff and heal himself even more, allowing him to strike back. So it's like they're creating failed safes for his typing, right? So again, as a defense type, you want him to take damage, that way he gets buffed. And then if he takes too much damage, then he starts recovering health, and he becomes even more of a devastating force, if you will, which is definitely good. And apparently, from what Toshi said, his Ultra ability is the first of its kind that affects allies too. Now, I'm kind of worried. You know, there are units in the game that sabotage allies, right? And obviously Omega Shenron is not a good guy, right? And one example of a unit that sabotages allies is Bojack, right? Not the current one that we have right now, but the one from back in the day, the one that had the godlike cover change before like nullification of cover change was a thing, right? So I'm hoping that his Ultra ability is beneficial. But I mean, they're not gonna make it a detriment. Like, there's no way. Like, you're not gonna go out of your way to make a brand new unit and then have their Ultra ability be a detriment to your team in any way, shape, or form. That would just be freaking terrible. But I'm fairly certain that it's gonna be beneficial to the team as well. And of course, this unit can be attained in event, and he might be the last free-to-play Ultra unit before the summonable ones, which is what they noted in the video and stuff as well. So if you have the opportunity, take advantage of this, because again, much like how Ultra Goku and Vegeta are going to be easier to attain, it's gonna work for Omega Shenron as well. Take advantage of this, because again, once they're summonable, who knows what will happen. And the very last thing that they noted was that Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta's unique equipment is coming soon, and it's gonna make him even more powerful than he already is. So that's gonna be interesting to see, because again, on Fusion Warrior, he is a staple on my team. So to get that equipment and make him an even more devastating force is gonna be awesome to behold. But yeah, that is really it. Again, a majority of the things from this video and stuff were quality of life updates, which is completely fine, because there are a lot of revisions that need to be made to this game to make it an even more enjoyable experience in this current day and age. And of course, we did get, you know, the announcement of Ultra Omega Shenron, which I will be going after as well to help up GT. But regardless of all that though, I do want to know what you guys thought about all of this information in the comment section below. But with that being said, I'm Ndukauba, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.